Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The predictions league, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around, always talking Spurs wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. The predictions league, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chill, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel.
I can see myself on the screen. Welcome, everybody. Greetings and salutations from Southeast Asia. It will appear that Jose has frozen, or
We're back. Are we here? I don't know. This is going mad.
can you see me, Jose?
Right, I can now. StreamYard has been playing up all morning for me. I've been trying to set this show up.
One of our lines is having a bit of an issue. Let me reconnect. I'm going to reconnect if you can hear me, okay? I'm going to reconnect. Give me a second to reconnect. I think I have some issues here. Give me a second to reconnect to you.
I don't think it's you. I don't think it's you. I think it's StreamYard.
Or is it StreamYard? You think it's StreamYard? You think it's a problem with StreamYard?
Yeah, it is StreamYard. It's not you.
Yeah, I think we might have some issues here, ladies and gentlemen. Please bear with us while we deal with this technical issue. It will appear that StreamYard might be acting up for either one of us, or it could be both of us. We'll get back to you as soon as we have proper connectivity. But otherwise, if you can hear me fine, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Today is Sunday, the 7th of September, 2025. We are well under say this. We are a week away from the restart of the Premier League, in which Spurs will be traveling to West Ham for the fourth league game of the new season. Absolutely looking forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. I can't lie. The addition of Randall Kolo Muani on loan, albeit, but yeah. Yeah. Thank you for pointing out there, Mr. David Shear. If you can hear me, I'm going to try and fix my audio. Okay, I hope this is a lot better, but yeah, it might appear that StreamYard might be acting up. It's messing with all our connections, all our, our broadcasts from wherever it is that we are broadcasting from. Let's. Okay, yeah, thank you for that, Mr. Joe. I'm going to try and work on my echo now. I'm going to work on my echo.
Right, are we back?
We are back.
Morning.
I appear
Good
to.
Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear right now, Jose. And according to Mr.
Good
Joe,
afternoon.
thank you, Mr. Joe. Greatly appreciated. My echo has been dealt with. So, without further ado, maybe you would like to start the show proper this time.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good evening and good
Although
morning,
it
wherever
will
you are in the world. I'm really sorry that we've had technical issues. It's taken me about 45 minutes to get into this, to StreamYard today. StreamYard has been playing up at my end. It's been mental. But anyway, we're here now. And we've also got a further person here, Mr. Shro. Hello. Do you know who you look like at the moment, Mr.
It might appear
Shroker?
that he's
Yeah,
offering as well.
I get compared with loads of people.
No, the way that you've got your background and the way you've got your silhouette at the moment, you know when Darth Vader takes his mask off and shows his face? That's how you look at the moment.
I don't watch films, but sorry, you've got me there.
Okay, other people will know. Anyway, welcome everyone. We've got loads of people here. We better say hello to them and get into the show because it's our fault. Adrian was here earlier and said good morning to Jose and Chang. Shemtan is here, says good afternoon, Mr. Bossman Jose. And the youngest looking old man, Mr. Chimichanga. Chang, hope you're both doing well this weekend. Nita is here, says good afternoon, Jose and Chang. Drula says morning, Jose, Chang, and the Cockerel crew. Hope everyone's well. Shemtan says good old Sonny came back to haunt Potch and his USMNT squad last night. Paige is here, says afternoon, Peach. Good afternoon, Paige. And now my chat's going missing, so I'll have to say hello to people from the other thing. Oh, here we go. It's come back in. Queen Ellie's here, says what's happening, Jose? I can't see you. Joe Blogs is here, says evening, Otto and Chang. We live in hope that Levy's gone. The change will be positive. People are then saying hello to each other. We then have where are we? I'll check back because there's so much chat. Mr. Agambar's here, says big up Jose, Mr. Chang, and all in the chat. Jess is here. Good afternoon, Jess. She's watching her boy Harry play. Hopefully he scores a hat trick, as people have said. David Shears here, says hello everyone. Good evening to you, David. I hope you are well, sir. Anyone else that I can see? Graham's here, says afternoon, Jose and Mr. Chang. People no doubt will see that you're here, Adrian, and say hello to you as well.
Big up to all in the chat. I'm not going to, mention all by name. Right, big up to all in the chat.
Paige says perhaps Jose's dog is sabotaging things. Just barks during prediction shows and no longer enough. Wants to be the star of the show. The dogs have got nothing to do with it. Nowhere near me. The dogs this morning, this afternoon. And have we got anything? Yeah, I think we've caught up. Mr. Shoker, people are saying hello to you. Right, let me go to my first banner. Right, so this week, people, I put down and I said that this week, if anything, if Carlsberg made weeks at Tottenham, this
Has he frozen? I think Jose might have frozen again. I can see Mr. Stroker just fine. It might appear that Jose has frozen.
Right then.
Okay. All right. So it's a Spurs diehards takeover of El Cockerel here. Welcome one and all. As I was saying earlier.
And while you're there, guys, while we're trying to get our wonderful host back, come on, hit that like button and the subscribe button. Yeah, let's get Jose up to 1,500. Yeah, just hit that like. It only takes a second. Yeah. Jose just messaged me. I was eating and trying to type the one out to say I'd come on. I don't know what's on the banner. What's on the agenda, Chang? What's on the banner? All right, here we go. You
right. I'm gonna have to copy and paste this across to you guys. Right. So the first banner, and I haven't got it up. Good afternoon, Blain. I hope you're well, sir.
Good afternoon.
The first one. The title of the show. It's been a long week, and the first thing I had was it's been a monumental shift in the boardroom. So we heard the news on Thursday night. I normally like to do these in order from last Sunday. So really we should be talking about the window closing. But because Thursday's events took over absolutely everything, It's all about, I think the only way to start the show off is on your opinions and views on the monumental shift in the boardroom. And Adrian, I'll start with you because you're guesting and so is Blain. So I'll start with you guys first.
Yeah, well, Levy got Martin Joel, didn't he? He got sacked at half time, didn't he? I mean, it was a bit, the sacking was a bit, or him leaving on a big fat payout was a bit sudden. And then we've all tried to delve into this and try to work out what actually happened. I mean, we all knew early days that Donna Marie Cullen wanted to retire, but he kept her on for another year. So obviously she's always been a firm supporter. I mean, she was at the club about 5 years before he was. She's been there about 30 years, I think. So, yeah, and then once we smelt the winds of change as soon as Charrington was on the board as a non-executive director, which means he doesn't, well, you don't get paid as a non-exec, and he doesn't have a day-to-day say in the running of the affairs of the club, because that'll be down to Vinay Venkatesham. But you can bet your bottom dollar, like he's going to be hovering over that boardroom like a hawk, right? So, because he's not been brought in for nothing. So just to make sure things can run smoothly. And then we were trying to fathom out whether or not it was, there's been lots of discussions on this, whether or not it was like our finishing 17th and the cluster shambles, nearly swore, cluster shambles with Morgan, Gibbs, White and Eze. So that might have really forced the issue. We don't know. I don't think we'll ever know for sure. But I think we're on the right track with our theories. Back to you, Jose.
I think he's frozen again.
Blain, what's your take?
Blain, what are your?
Go on. Sorry, Jose.
Blain, what's your take on it?
Just to mention, by the way, I'm not trying to emulate Danny this morning. For everybody that's wondering why I'm wearing sunglasses indoors, my eyes are going crazy. I have an eye condition, so apologies, folks. But where I'm struggling to understand and comprehend what the timeline has been is why would we give Levy the summer window and then get rid of him? It's strange in a way, because surely, I mean, you look at any big business, you have a contingency plan, you have a handover plan. Surely all that handover would have taken place at the beginning of the window. So the power would have passed on, then the Charrington would have passed on to Vinay. Could it have been because we didn't have Paratici and as director of football to go and negotiate those deals, thinking that Lange wasn't good enough? Or did we have a plan in the back end to go, right, Daniel, we want you to go and lead the final window of your career and then we'll move on? Because this wouldn't have taken place overnight. It wouldn't have been, you know, a 2-day process. This would have taken months to build up to this point. So I just find the whole situation very, very strange. On top of that as well, I mean, you look at the infrastructure investments that our club's making at the moment. Daniel's been completely removed from the club. If you look at Company's House, he's gone from all entities associated with Tottenham Hotspur. Why would we not keep him in for the infrastructure side of the business? Again, that to me is very, very strange. It's a big power balance shift. And look, it's going to be an interesting, 3-4 months ahead as we see how the new era of Tottenham Hotspur takes shape.
My theory on the infrastructure thing, keeping him to do the building work, is now I'm starting to smell investors who don't want Levy at the club.
Yeah,
that's the theory I can put forward. But I mean, we don't know this. We can only speculate. So I think we are close to investors. If we get a name right still, not so excited about that, because that'll just pay the interest on our £1 billion debt. We owe 660 odd million on the stadium. About the last time I looked, it was about 337 in agents' transfer fees and payoffs and things like that. So that, and maybe these people have stepped forward now and said, right, we want to invest. We want to invest soon, but he's got to go. What do you think, Chang?
Well, I think it all comes rather strange, if you ask me, Mrs. Roker, the timing of it all. If anyone isn't aware, Daniel Levy was removed a day before our 143rd anniversary of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. We were founded on the 5th of September, 1882, and he was removed a day before our 143rd anniversary. And if you ask me, I think he was, the way he was removed, it wasn't like some sort of gradual sort of sending off or stepping down. It was just boom like that, you're gone. And as what Mr. Blain pointed out earlier, him being removed from pretty much all the face of Tottenham, or rather anything to do with Tottenham Hotspur. He has been completely just been moved on. And again, questions will be asked, why wasn't this done a whole lot sooner? Maybe before the end of the transfer window rather than after. And now that he's gone, does this mean that Paratici will be coming back? Or does Johan Langer still have a big say in our transfer dealings despite Levy being gone? And also, I'm seeing some purported reports saying that his son is actually stepping in his stead for the time being as a temporary stopgap. So I'm not sure just where we are right now, but him stepping down after 24 years he's been there at the helm, I think would be a big change in direction, where be it whether for good or for worse, for better or for worse. I think that remains to be seen. But credit where credit is due. You have to give him credit for what he's done for the club in terms of our infrastructure, our stadium, the revenue they've brought in. But off the pitch, or rather, as far as the football is concerned, when it comes to the transfer dealings, well, he has been at the helm of one too many penny pinching deals that has seen us come up short more than once, or rather more than I'm comfortable with. So I'm glad that he stepped down, but this is where I think we should all be just a bit cautious with what we wish for. Be careful with what you wish for, as we may always think that the grass is greener on the other side when we don't know what's in store for us. Let's just hope that whoever who takes the reins, whoever is going to step up, will do the right thing for the club, and that we actually now, for once, we operate like a big club. We operate like a top club. We operate like a club that really wants to win things rather than just blowing hot air and not being able to walk the talk. So that's my take on Daniel Levy. Thank you for the years of service, Daniel, but it's time that you were released, and hopefully whoever comes in would do a far better job than you ever have. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
Hopefully I'm back. I am back. Am I? Yeah. My concern, gentlemen, not my concern. I don't think I've been looking too deep, and I haven't dived into this too much. But with the big news that came out on Thursday, all I've got to say is that everything's gone really quiet since that announcement. You haven't heard any more. You haven't heard loads about it and anything more than what we were told on Thursday night. So there was a big buzz on Thursday night after the news. But since then, everything's gone quiet. All trails have gone cold. We don't know what's happening. We haven't got a clue. And I find it really weird because Thursday night's announcement is probably one of the biggest announcements, if not the biggest announcement, that we've made at Tottenham Hotspur since ENIC took over. And to me, it's just really weird that it's all gone quiet. I mean, unless you guys know more than me. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that I searched and I troll social media and the internet just to find out information about Daniel Levy, because I don't. I've been honest. But normally something appears on the timeline or something, and I've seen nothing whatsoever appear since Thursday.
You think a club of our size would come out with an announcement from ENIC or from Vivian Lewis or some way to steer what the next steps are going to be for the club? We know that Charrington's been made non-executive director, fine, but there's been nothing officially announced about what the new structure, what the new plan is, what the new regime is. Any business will do that, and I'm really shocked that we haven't, unless something's going to come out in the news tomorrow, would be my only assumption.
You'd think this would be an ideal time for the club to launch a PR initiative with Vinny Verkation at the helm, because he used to engage with the Arsenal fans, didn't he? And we've suffered from this lack of transparency for years, right? And we just want a hint of the future direction of our club. I mean, there's not much they can really do to impress us because we've got 4 months to the January transfer window. So then, okay, you've taken over, show us how you're going to be different, which to us fans mean spend a lot of money, right? Spend 100 million of January, which I know it's a hard window to do. The only thing you could really do between now and then is like launch some sort of PR initiative, show that you're going to be more transparent and engaged with the fan base, and perhaps tweak a few things around the stadium. Say that prices are going to be frozen, blah blah blah, and let's have some water stations around the stadium and concourses. Let's have some green cross areas where fans can go. There's 60,000 in the stadium. There's every chance that 1 or 2 people might feel a bit ill when they're at a game. Let's have a paramedic stations on each concourse level or something like that. I've seen them walk round, but if fans knew where to go, if they felt a bit poorly or something, or where to go and get someone, that would help. I'd like to see more seating in the concourses around the stadium as well. I see a lot of older people there, like, look as though they're struggling standing on the seat and they have to go at their seats early, whereas, so they don't want to be standing about in the concourses. So there are little touches the club could bring into play here, but will they? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, Chang, do you not find
Yes.
it? I mean,
Yes, Jose, you were saying? Or has he frozen?
through in the groups as well.
Oh.
Have I gone again?
You are cutting in and out, Jose. I can hear bits and pieces of you where it appears that Mr. Blain and Mr. Stroka are still very much here and live.
You're back now, Jose. I think you're back now.
Sorry, Chang, I was going to say, I know that you're a working man, but you, as well as Adrian, are you posting quite often in the groups of news that you hear and stuff like that? Do you not find it weird that it's all gone quiet since Thursday?
I think, if anything, I think this would be the best way to go about it. Yes, I do find it a bit quiet, a bit too quiet for my liking, if you ask me, to be perfectly honest with you. But I would say that actually this is the best way to go about it, as in, apart from maybe the fans and also maybe some analysts or even some pundits, the fact that the club has sort of like hushed this up tells me that there might be something bigger in play behind the scenes that we know nothing about. We could be on the verge of a massive takeover. That is the one that's doing the rounds, whether it's some Saudi conglomerate or whatever business enterprise is going to make a big bid for us. I would say that we are on the verge of something big, whether for better or for worse, in terms of the football that we see on and off the pitch, remains to be seen. But I would say that this is actually the best way to go about maybe some sort of change in regime, or maybe even a change in ownership for that matter. What I will say is that the moment football resumes, I think a lot of things will be made clear before we play West Ham, and even in terms of, let's say, the signing of Paratici, if and this is a big if whether he is going to be given an official capacity within the club in the few weeks to come. I think all of this will come clear sooner rather than later. But I think the silence is a bit jarring, but it's not something to worry just yet, because unless something has been made clear for all to see, I think right now no news is good news. That will be the old adage that I'll go with. No news is good news. And until such time we hear something official from the club, I would say just keep our fingers crossed, everybody. Keep our fingers crossed that change is coming, change is happening, and hopefully it will be for the better. Having said that, back to you, FA.
You're
I think
muted.
you're muted. You're muted, Jose. You're muted. Did you mute yourself?
Right. Blain, what would you prefer? A full takeover, a phased buyout, or just investment?
It's a good question, because grass isn't always greener. We know that ENIC across the years haven't invested heavily into the club, but there does seem to be a bit of a power shift. Joe's obviously stepped back. The trust is now owned by Vivian, and I can't remember the
Charlie's the brother. And then you've got the grandchildren, which are Nick Bolcher and Alexandra.
Right. So, do they want to take the club in a totally different direction and start injecting money into the club? You know, that would be the question I'd be posing. Or would we prefer to see, as you say, Adrian, a phased buyout? It all really comes down to what the direction of the club wants to be. Do you want it to become this? And look, I listened to a couple of things on TalkSport this week. Do you really want to see the Premier League completely taken over by Americans, Middle Eastern conglomerates, outside investment, or do you want to keep a proper British culture still within the Premier League? You know, it comes down to a bit of a political situation. Do you want 20 clubs that are owned outside of the league? I wouldn't want to see that.
I don't think fans care as long as they get investors in the club that are going to spend hundreds of millions on the squad. But you've alluded to a good point regarding due diligence, because I was always on a conservative side with others out there that like, oh, hold on, I want to know who's coming in, before. But other fans wanted anyone in the protest movement, which is strong. I mean, they've had a part to play in this, definitely, to getting Levy gone as well. But me, I don't. And then what happened? You remember only about a year ago. Then suddenly we were rumored to be linked with the owner of Dallas Cowboys, and then even all the protest guys were going crazy. We don't want him. We don't want him. So as you know, careful what you wish for. I would like a complete takeover. Don't see that. That's not going to happen, because when Sugar was at the club, he didn't sell his shares till he wanted to. He hung on to them. He knew that club, the equity value was going to go up exponentially, and it did. And he sold when it suited him. The same with ENIC and Levy. Levy owns 29.88% of ENIC, and ENIC own 86% of the club, 86.1%, something like that. And there's 30,000 small shareholders. From a selfish point of view, a self-interestedly point of view, I'd like a complete buyout, because that the clue is in that. Because like, if someone's going to buy this club for 4 or 5 billion outright, then it shows that they're awash with cash. And we're not talking about, an organization that might be worth 30, 50 billion or something like that. We're now talking probably, if you're going to buy that club 5 billion and have that money ready available to do it, that's the sort of large organization you want coming in, because they virtually have cash to just throw around.
The only thing to mention, Adrian, the 30,000 shareholders doesn't really matter, because in a controlling stake in a company, you only need 50.1%, right? So it's just ENIC shares that we need to worry about. And it's really then down to the trust. Do they want to sell up and, go and enjoy the riches of life for the next 3-4 generations of their family? Or do they really want to continue investing in the club? I noted, and a lot of people have noted this as well, that Vivian's been far more present at the ground, or Viv as she's known around the place, in the last couple of seasons than she's ever been. And there does seem to be a real, I don't know how genuine it is, but there does seem to be a real support from the trustees now, that they actually want to see this club be successful, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. But it seems to be the on-pitch activity that they really want to back. If ENIC are switching that tactic and we're going to see investment and we're going to see success on the pitch, I'm all for it. But if somebody else comes in with a good proposal to buy them out, you'd almost be foolish not to accept it. We've gone from what was it, a £35 million club to a £3.5 billion club in the space of a generation.
Yeah, Chang. So ENIC could sell, say, the 86% of the club they own. They could sell a large chunk of their shares. They're not going to sell them all. I don't see that. It'd just be bad business. You just got, the value of the club's going to keep going up. We're going to probably earn 600 million this year. When they start gentrifying Tottenham, the land values are going to go up. So with that, the stadium value will soar as well. And then we've got an estimated, and you're down in your neck of the woods, Chang. We've got an estimated 34 million fan base out there, right? It's a gold mine to tap into. Admittedly, there'll be a lot of poor people that can never buy a shirt and probably watch on a free screen somewhere, watch games. But it's still, and then like with that fan base, it's what your sponsors want them to tap into them, and so it's just there's so much growth still to come from this football club. It's frightening to realise how much they earn. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up, earning $1 billion in a few years' time a season.
And what's even scarier, Mr. Sroka, is when you see, or rather when you saw the turnout, or rather the turnouts for the open bus parade. I believe that open bus parade, where the turnout in itself could have been the final straw that broke maybe the back of Levy, in which if you see how much we've been owed in terms of success on the pitch or even in terms of silverware. There is no doubt that this club is, it's too, I wouldn't say it's too big to fail, but we should be challenging for titles, and one or rather two trophies throughout Daniel Levy's entire 24-year tenure isn't good enough. And I'm pretty sure that the turnout for that open bus parade, if that was what's told the management or the board of directors, that what, we are too, we have invested far too much. We've invested far too much into this football club, and the infrastructure and the players and whatnot, and what have you, that we deserve more of this. We deserve more success. We would like to see more of this, open bus parades, or even, parading of the trophies, whatever. And I really do hope that we do kick on from here on, because what I have been reading on social media, and this is based purely on what people are posting. I know not whether any of this is true, but there've been a lot of feedback saying that a lot of clubs are or unwilling. There are a lot of clubs that are unwilling, or they are rather hesitant to be doing business with Spurs because Levy is in charge. If they know that Levy is in charge of the deal, or he is behind, negotiating whatever sort of deal structure for any sort of incoming or even outgoing, then the clubs are rather hesitant to be, dealing with him, and uh, whereby it does hinder our outgoings, or even maybe scupper our incomings, as we saw with uh, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank on his name already. Even after he chose Chelsea, Arsenal over us. Eze, yes, that's his name. Yeah. So it's things like this that really make you question, why wasn't he removed a great deal, whole lot sooner? But better late than never. Again, be careful with what you wish for. We have no idea if the next person, or rather, if his successor is going to be any better than him. Hopefully, again, fingers crossed, as always, we then kick on from here on, and we spend wisely. Of course, that would be the mantra, but not be penny wise, pound foolish going forward. That, I think, has to be the sticking point, because if you were to compare our net spend this summer, considering we were just crowned Europa champions, and you compare with that of our rival clubs, I think we are far, far, far behind. That's not to say that we don't have the money to spend. I think the players, or rather the targets, were gone before we could properly secure their signings. But yeah, let's just hope that from here on in, we don't hear any more of this purported reports coming out that we missed out on a player because we are haggling over the fee. Having said that, back to you, Jose, if you're back.
I keep coming in and out, So
You're stable now. You're stable now.
well, I don't know. I'll be stable for long because it keeps telling me that my mic's disconnected. I'm keep getting messages flashing up on the screen all the time whilst we're on the show, and it's telling me that I've got errors and I'm pressing buttons and all sorts, and I'm still in and out. So I'm really sorry about that. Can I say good afternoon to Philly, Marianne, to Ghosted, to Paul Pablo, to Kate, who have all joined the show. And because it's messing up and I can't get comments and stuff up, I'm going to have to say hello to you guys from here. I hope I've put a message in, and I'm hoping that the errors and the issues that I'm having on StreamYard, I hope that doesn't affect the show, because you've got three lovely people here who are giving you their opinions and their comments, and that's more valuable than seeing my ugly mug on the screen anyway. So, in saying that, what happens next in the course of our season? Are we going to go back to supporters? Are you going to go back to to the football and looking forward to the West Ham game and the games from beyond, or are you wanting to know what's happening in the boardroom? Where do you guys sit? Where's your pull at the moment?
What happens in the boardroom will happen. We'll hear a bit about that in due course. Some more interesting in the football. We've got some games coming up. Blain's coming over, so we'll all have a meet up. Jose, if you're going to his games, you can let us know what games he's at. We can all meet up beforehand.
Blain's going to Villa and did you say
United.
Man U? And United?
Yeah, Man U. I might go to Chelsea as well. Need to see what I'm doing that weekend.
We'll show you. See what happens when the meetup's early at games. Sorry to go off attack a bit for you lot in the chat, but some of you will be going to the games as well anyway. Is like I usually meet on the fan zone with a few people, just a few. I can go upstairs and meet Brad and Martin and Steve and all that, but I can't be everywhere at once. So, and at the end of the game, we have got a general meeting place at the end of the game. Hosey goes, it is in area 21, 22 staircase, but we'll show you where that is if we meet up, Blain. Then, any other game you come to, if you don't see people, because sometimes people get to games at all times and struggle to get there and you can't meet them. But after a game, everyone usually meets up in the same spot we've got, which is between gates 21, 22, the staircase, in between the two staircases. With
I think where I'm sitting, Adrian, for all the games is 1920 or 2021.
South Stand.
Yeah. South Stand.
So you'll see everyone. Don't worry, you'll see everyone if you're in South Stand.
We'll phone each other and I'll just say where we are, because I'm usually standing with Kev. I don't know if our other admin Tom, his son, turns up, but there's a little group of us that stand there. Sometimes it's just me and Kev. Others are late. If Ian comes down or not from Scotland or not EMF, I don't know. So we'll see. But it's a good crowd. They're a fantastic.
It'd be great. Yeah, it'd be really good to meet you in person, Blain, at the games. But I'm there for all. I'm there for all three. So can I just say, Blain, whilst he's on screen, Blain has been kind and gifted out 5 memberships, and these have gone to Paige, who's already gone in the chat and thanked you, Blain. Martin Knightsbridge, Ghosted, who was in the chat earlier, Jeff Badgery, and Nate Pye. So if any of you, Paige has already come and said thank you to you, but if any of your others coming in to say thank you to the person that gave you the membership, it is Blain that was kind enough to give you a membership. Going back to the question that I was asking, gentlemen, right? Football, West Ham, Villarreal, the games. We've got a period of games now between now and the next international break. So, as a supporter, are your thoughts on the football now, or are they on or are they still like what's happening upstairs? And kind of what percentages are you football as to the boardroom? If I can ask it that way.
I'm 99% football.
Yeah, this is where I find it good timing, this national break. Because see if this was in between game weeks and we were going into a Champions League game, all the talk in the media, all the talk off the pitch would have been around the boardroom, right? Now we can get over that in this week period leading up to the West Ham game. So hopefully there is less distraction for the players, less distraction for the management team off the pitch. We can focus fully on the football and going into West Ham and Villarreal within the space of 72 hours. I would really, really worry if this was in between game weeks. I think it's a good timing from the club. For me,
Blain's cut out again. Chang, I think just to go back on the Levy thing, I think the writing was on the wall for him to go even earlier, but only because this has happened so quickly. And the reason I say that, my reason is based on the fact that, that Charrington and Co. were waiting to see if we won the Europa League. And then otherwise, if we didn't, I think him and Ange would have gone soon after. Both of them would have gone. But because we won it, we then had to have the parade. You couldn't get rid of Ange, otherwise the parade would turn into a riot, right? So you had to keep Ange for a little bit longer, right? But they've now got to the point where they've gone, right. And I think Levy knew, because I think that video he made about wanting to win the Premier League and the Champions League, I think it was his last-ditch attempt to try and save his job. I think that was just propaganda on his behalf.
If you read between the lines, Adrian, he said, what was it he said? I'll be remembered more once I'm gone. And well, now you are gone. It's,
It's all, honestly, the timing of it all is what intrigues me the most when like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, he was officially announced a day just before our 143rd anniversary, and it also happened after the transfer window had closed, and also before we even get any sort of a confirmation if or when Paratici will be officially back on board. I would say that I think it's all been planned out beforehand. That Levy knew all along when his final day in office would be. But the way I think we've handled it professionally as a club has been good. We didn't kick up a storm. We didn't kick up a fuss. The way Newcastle maybe handled the announcement of the sale of Alexander Isak, I think we did it well. But I will say this about his resignation or his removal from office. If I may add this to what I said earlier, uh, I think it's very important right now that the board themselves, they all get on board with what really matters with this football club, and that is success on the pitch. I think we've had enough of investments, or even ticketing sales of whatever future events or concerts, or even development around N17 to guarantee that we will have the funds to spend in transfer windows. All that all that needs seeing to now is everybody pulling together in the same general direction of success on the pitch. And again, I bring this back to what I said earlier about that open bus top parade and the crowd that we pulled in. You could see just from the scenes that you saw on your phone or on your telly or wherever you were watching, or even if you were there for that matter, that this club has been owed success for far too long. Two trophies in the whole 24 years since Levy has been in charge. I think it's too poor an investment or even a return for ye old Tottenham Hotspur. And I can only hope that him stepping down is the first step, or rather, is the first sort of uh, positive step towards us actually being a big club again, even if it doesn't mean spending obscene amount of money or signing a busload of players, but investment where it needs to be invested, and not penny pinching. I think that is the one thing that we need to get over. And if it means, say, paying the release clause a lot sooner, and I will bring Eze up again as an example. If we had paid Eze's release clause before it had expired, sometime in the middle of August, I believe it was, then maybe would have got our target. And again, this is also another big if, but if we had paid the release clause for Morgan Gibbs White through the proper channels, maybe we would have him in our books right now, rather than having to resort to trying to work out some other deal behind the scenes, which never materialized. But again, this is where I really hope we do improve. And the best way to improve is as early as January, as soon as that window opens in January. If we do need reinforcements, assuming we go far into the domestic cups and also make it into the knockout stages of the Champions League, then I think we would really have to seriously revisit that left wing problem, if it still does become a problem in January. Having said that, back to you again, FA.
Good afternoon to Rick Kane. Says, big up, lads. C. Simmons and VDV both started for the Netherlands. Joe Blogg says, the timing of Levy sacking is very Levy-esque. Sorry, he wasn't sacked. He was asked to resign, as the norm in big corporations, as it helps with the PR. And Drew is saying, rival fans are worried that Levy got sacked. Yes, I've heard. I've spoken about the people that I play football against, and I play in 4 different groups during the week, and supporters from all sorts of teams. And I've had Arsenal supporters, Newcastle, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Brighton. I've had all the people that say Wolves. I've had people that support all these different clubs that have all said to me, well, most of the Arsenal fans are absolutely gutted that Levy's left. They said, we had the Indian over you for 24 years with Levy being there because we knew you wouldn't go any further with Levy at the helm. But now that Levy's gone, we're now worried what happens next. So you've got some genuine people feelings outside the club that are now thinking that Tottenham may well go on to provide for the club in order to provide and to try and attain success on the pitch. You heard anything from? I'm just bringing it up because it's there. Have you heard anything from any of the rival fans, or have you read anything about them? Anyone?
Yeah, two of my best mates are Newcastle and City fans, and they've said actually the same thing, Jose, which is Levy's kind of taken us as far as we can. And that's the feeling that I get as well. He has a ceiling when it comes to development on the pitch. He's hit that ceiling. Now that we've got the right infrastructure in place, we've got the right foundations to build upon and become a much bigger club, they are seriously worried because we are a massively attractive option for an investment. And if we can match the levels of investment of these top 3, top 4, I did actually just want to highlight something for Chang. We were the 4th biggest net spenders this window, Chang. You're saying, you don't see the massive amount of investment going in. Do you think this is now the tipping point where, take Liverpool out to the side, Liverpool had £500 million worth of headroom on PSR they could spend. You take them out, we're the 3rd biggest spenders. Do you think is this now the first signs of us making a change to quality, bigger investments rather than big blanket, we'll spend 150 million for 7 players?
Don't get me wrong here, Mr. Blain. I get what you're saying, and I fully back your statistics, and I can see where we are trying to make a splash to just keep abreast with the big clubs. What I'm saying earlier is not so much of how much we spend, but how on the players, or rather the players in which we spend on, and getting them over the line sooner rather than later. I mean, again, I can't fault Polina for not lasting the full 90 against PSG, or we might even have another trophy to celebrate. But again, this goes back to what I said moments earlier in the last round of things I had to say with regards to us signing players. If we could just spend that little bit more to secure a player as soon as he becomes available, say, for example, paying the release clause for Eze in mid of August before it had expired, or even paying the release clause for Morgan Gibbs-White through the proper channels rather than trying to go behind the back of the Forest administration. I honestly feel that we can actually spend the money and get the proper players well ahead of the chasing pack, or well ahead of our rivals. And us being the 4th highest net spenders, I think this summer is a good indication that we are heading in the right direction. I just wish that we had pulled the trigger a whole lot sooner, and again, not be penny pinching. Otherwise, we might find ourselves on the losing end. As it is, I'm very, very, very elated. We actually got Xavi Simons ahead of Chelsea. That is a big victory for us, Xavi Simons, even more so than Eze or even Morgan Gibbs-White, in my frank, honest opinion. But let's just see. I'm not going to get overhyped over Simons. I just hope that if we have to do such business again, maybe as soon as this coming January, if and when the chance is offered up to us, I really do hope that we spend wisely and pay it upfront sooner rather than later. A good example would be the January in which we purchased both Dragushin and Bergval. That was good business, and it was early business. In fact, it was one of the earliest times I've ever seen us splash the cash in January. I think it was last year, was it? Early of January of 2024. So if we were to do that again in January of 2026, hopefully again it's going to be for the right players, and we bring them in sooner rather than later. Thank you again, Mr. Blain.
Sorry, can I just say, Blain, you've said something that's now triggered me to ask the question of you guys, right? Interestingly, you said that Levy has hit a ceiling, can't take us any further, and has hit a ceiling. I have an opinion on this, and I wanted to hear your opinions. When did Levy hit that ceiling?
Post Champions League final.
Straight after
that period after we got to the Champions League final, sack Poch, didn't spend and invest. That is the point. That's the sliding doors moment for us as a football club, because we got a manager that can actually get us somewhere, can take us to the biggest stage, and we didn't invest.
Okay.
No, I will play devil's advocate a little bit and say the stadium had only just been built. So were we hamstrung because of the behind the scenes finances, or were we hamstrung because the club didn't want to invest on the pitch and instead wanted to invest off the pitch? And that's, I guess, a rhetorical question because we'll never really know.
Yeah,
But
it was like 518 days, wasn't it, without a player?
Yeah, exactly. And then we scurried around with Nuno and wasn't the right appointment. Then we got Jose in. It stank of a club that was in a bit of a position of not knowing exactly which direction to go.
But in this window,
Adrian, for you?
People worry about our ceiling, what we're going to do. But in this window, we've already shown good intent. We brought 4 players in that can walk straight into the team. We've got Romero on a long contract, and everyone thought he was going to go. He thinks more of Argentina than a club, which I never believed personally. And then little bonuses. We all like Danto, our new long throw specialist. And everyone likes him. He was fully paid up for, and Spence signed his contract and gets an England cap. I mean, this is good. And now, but we have every right to expect more now that Levy's gone in January. We have every right to expect more. There's still holes to fill in the squad. And when we actually get a proper squad, which I'm talking about 18 players that could all be part of the first 11, then you haven't got to go out each year and look to bring in 4 or 5 players. You can bring in 1 or 2 and freshen things up. And we're not there yet. We're still at least three short. Some might say 4. I think we're still short. I said 6 at the beginning of the transfer window. Got more in than I thought, actually. I thought we'd only get 3 in, and we got 4. So, yeah, well happy with that. Yeah, spend 130.
When did he hit his ceiling, though, Adrian, for you, is what I'm asking. Because Blaine's given me his response to that. But when has he hit his ceiling? Did he hit his ceiling? And if he did, when, for you, did he hit his ceiling?
When he sacked Poch, to me, because Poch wasn't backed. Poch might have turned down players like Joe Roden and all that, but Poch wasn't backed. And look what Poch did. He actually got us demanding that we have virtually European football each season. I mean, the last few seasons, he finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Then we finished, 6th, 7th, 4th, and 8th. So you could see the decline. The 4th was Conte, wasn't it? Right, when we had a late run.
Squicked it in, yeah.
But,
against Arsenal, yeah.
Yeah. And like you bring in Conte and Mourinho. Now, no one's knocking their records. But when someone asked me to go, what do you reckon is going to happen each time? I said, well, I know it. I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I said, but I know how it's going to end. It's going to end badly. And it did. And I said, why say that against someone else? I said, well, because they're not our DNA. Our DNA is Nicholson, Birkinshaw, it's Odelar Dealers. Our DNA is Martin Joel, Harry Redknapp, Poch. Hopefully Frank, who looks like Poch Mark II to me, the way he studies the game and that. So bring in managers into your club that suit your DNA. And your DNA should consist of your lowest academy team, the under-9s, whatever it's legal, because you can only go so low in age for legal reasons, upwards to the first team. You should all play the same style of football. All play the same style of football. So when you progress, you're progressing naturally. And then if you do get into the first team, which is unlikely for the 99.9% of academy players, then you're ready. You're ready to slot in. It's not a question of when we put square pegs in round holes all the time, or you buy players and you're top heavy in one position because you haven't filled a less sexier position in the team. And just we have failed better in the transfer market. We have got a lot of players in on the cheap. You doggy, players like that. Fans will be subjective. Their fan base is always divided over every player, though. I don't think that's ever going to change. But yeah, Poch. Once Poch was gone, that was like I'm thinking like this isn't right. This isn't because any COO who had Levy's record, who had a boss, Levy would have been a sacked years ago.
And what about you, Chan? What's your when or do you feel that Levy's hit the ceiling? And if so, when was it for you? Is it
For
a
me, I
similar time to
think
these two gents?
the time that really showed that Levy had hit his ceiling was the sacking of Jose Mourinho just days before that cup final, in which I believe at that time he was only one of handful of managers who had ever bested Pep Guardiola in a cup final, be it in Europe or a domestic cup final. And for me, I think that is everything that was wrong with Levy and the way we were run, in which if the rumors are to be believed, if it is true that we were trying to save on a few million by getting rid of Jose, so that he wouldn't be able to pick up his bonus for lifting silverware with us, I think that's when Levy hit his ceiling, and I think there wasn't any doubt from there onwards that he should be removed from his position as soon as he did that, because that is holding us back. That is holding us back from actually bringing in success and silverware on the pitch, if anything. And for me, I'm surprised that it's taken that long to get him out of the board, or rather out of the club. And in a strange turn of events, in a strange turn of circumstances, is actually after we've won our latest silverware, in which he was then given a sack 3 months later after we won the Europa League. So yeah, for me, to answer your question, Jose, Levy hit his ceiling as soon as he sacked Jose Mourinho, the serial trophy winner, days before the League Cup final. Having said that, back to you, FA.
So for me, gentlemen, I agree with everything you guys have said, and I do. I wholeheartedly agree with all three of you and the points in time that you all state. But for me, Adrian, you've been a season ticket holder for years, and so I'm presuming that you used to go to Wembley when we were playing at Wembley.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, fair enough.
I didn't go to
Do you
Wembley.
do you guys remember when we played Liverpool and we beat them 4-1 at Wembley in the league?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Klopp had only just started his tenure at Liverpool. I don't know, for 6 months prior to something along them lines. For me, the sliding doors moment was that victory when Kane handed Dejan Lovren his arse back and we beat
Yeah.
him 4-1.
He got subbed, didn't he? Was Mourinho
Yeah.
playing for them as well at the time? They're gone. Jose?
I think it was still Pochettino, wasn't it?
And then
It was still
as
Pochettino
soon as
because
yeah, Pochettino was the manager. It was Pochettino, yeah. It was Pochettino as the manager.
Mm.
But we beat them 4-1, right? And after beating them 4-1 and really, really handing them their backside that day, what Klopp then did, and this was a sliding door moment for me, is what Klopp then did, he went out and bought the goalkeeper, he went out and bought the centre half, and he went and bought someone further up the pitch who was like seen as a lesser signing at the time. But he, he bought these players in. It's no coincidence that a year later to 18 months, they were then in the Champions League final against us.
Mm.
So my sliding doors moment was always Wembley 4-1 when we beat Liverpool. Liverpool went one way because we were ahead of Liverpool then in our trajectory. But Liverpool went one way and we went the other. We went down, Liverpool went up in their trajectory. So my sliding moment is always going to be the 4-1 at Wembley, because that's where I can remember that Liverpool's fortunes then changed. And ever since that day, and then Klopp made the decisions to bring in the keeper, the centre half, and a person further up front, they then went and they've gone and they've flown since then, and they're still flying now. Their trajectory is still going up like that as a club.
And Liverpool, they're now in a spot where, as you said earlier, Jose, or sorry, I think it was Adrian who said it, they just need to add one or two players every season now. Like next year, Salah's going to be 35. They're going to replace him with a 70, 80 million pound winger, right?
Rodrigo. Yeah, Jose. They
centre back in for BBD.
They must have brought in. I don't follow Liverpool, obviously. I mean, I see them rarely, but they must have brought in Robinson and Trent then, because they had Marino as a fullback, didn't they, at that time? So they did have quite a clear out Liverpool after that defeat. Well, they were transforming all the time anyway. So
No
Don't know when
worries.
Firmino came in, Bobby Firmino. I don't know when he came in, same as well.
Jose,
think it
hope you
might
don't
have
mind
even
if I- Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go on, Jose.
Yeah, I think it might have even been Firmino that they bought.
Yeah.
Because I remember them buying a goalkeeper, the centre half, and they bought a person who was seen at the time as a lesser signing that played further forward, and it may well have been Firmino that they bought.
Yeah.
But they went
I
up.
think I know who that player is, Jose, because I'm just doing some check here on Google. But this player, sadly, is no longer with us. It might have been Diogo Jota that he brought in that time uh, in late of 2019. So I think it could be Jota that you're referring to. I think he already did sign for
The 4-1, no Chang. The 4-1 game was the season or season and a half before the Champions League final. We were at Wembley, playing at Wembley, so it was an early signing. It was around the time of Allison and Van Dijk. They bought someone that played further forward. Sorry, Blain, you were going to say.
We only moved into the stadium in 2019. I know that because that's
Yeah.
when I started the Facebook group.
Yeah, because the 4-1 was a Wembley, wasn't it, Adrian?
Yeah.
And we were in the Champions League final in 2018, 1st of June 2018. So this game against Liverpool, the 4-1 Wembley, would have been the season before that at least.
Yeah.
So sorry, Blaine, you were going to say something, and then
I had a question to come back to Chang on, but I'll throw it out to everybody. Chang had mentioned he wants to see signings earlier in the windows, and I share that frustration with everybody. Right, we want to get our business done sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But playing devil's advocate this summer, by us not getting MGW over the line, by us not getting SA over the line, we've actually, in my opinion, ended up with the better of the three in Xavi Simons.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you actually rate in isolation, Chang, this window, given the player quality that we've signed?
So again, this is why I think football works in mysterious ways, in which when one door closes, another one opens. In this case, in the terms of in the circumstances of us signing Xavi Simons, I think it all works out perfectly for us, even though we didn't realize it at the moment. That's missing out on Morgan Gibbs-White and also Eze would lead to us signing probably one of the better prospects in terms of European football has to offer in that number 10 role. And again, this is why I think we really shouldn't be counting our chicks before they hatch, or even before always seeing that the grass is greener on the other side. And I mean, again, a lot of this has to do with the way we operate. I mean, don't get me wrong, if we had gotten Morgan Gibbs-White and Eze without getting Xavi Simons, I honestly feel that we would be a lot better in terms of our squad depth and also in terms of how we set up on match days with regards to the signings that we've made. But getting Xavi Simons, I believe, was a stroke of luck, or even a stroke of genius, or even a combination of both, in terms of how the missing out on Morgan Gibbs-White and also Eze led to him being signed, on top of us also getting Randall Kolo Muani on deadline day on a loan. So again, all of this, I mean, I would take this on all with a pinch of salt, in which I would say that if we do get a player, good, but if that player was there to be signed and we missed out on him, either because we acted too late or we didn't want to pay that extra few million to satisfy the the release clause or whatever is holding up the deal, then I think that would be a bit penny wise pound foolish. But in this one instance that I can remember anyway, it's good that we missed out on Morgan Gibbs-White and Eze to land Xavi Simons. But how often does this happen, Mr. Blain? Or rather, how often do we actually get better players just because we missed out on the first two signing possibilities? I still think there should be a fair balance. There should be a fair balance between the right transfer fee for the right players at the right time, and also maybe overspending just to make up the numbers or just to satisfy the fan base, if that's even a thing. So yeah, I think all of this is a bit, it's all a bit very complicated and everything, and I'm not going to try to make sense of it all in just a couple of minutes on one show. But yeah, in this instance, I'm very very glad we got Xavi Simons over Morgan Gibbs-White and Eze. Having said that,
for what it's worth, I agree with you. I think we're too guilty too often of being reactionary in the transfer window rather than being proactive in the transfer window. The last time I seen us being proactive before Kudus was us getting Maddison, because we got Maddison really early in the window, I think in 2023. I think we got him in the first couple of weeks. But after that, again, there was the great gap. I look back at it. We didn't sign a player for 41 days after we got Maddison.
I think most of the fan base, like me, wanted Eze over Simons. One, we thought he was going to go to Chelsea to be harder to get in. But also, I mean, I wanted Maddison and Dorgu to be in the last season, so we didn't get either. But only because Maddison was homegrown over Simons. Because I've seen a bit of Simons. Not watched him play 90 minutes, but seen enough. You could see enough in players at times. And like, I'm so pleased we get him. We'll see if he's got the physicality. He's 5'9". I mean, but he is a versatile footballer.
He's very dogged as well, Adrian. You're saying about the physicality. He seems like he's got another 20 pounds on him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
he's got that upper body strength.
And I think whereas Moani's just a little under 6'2", 6'1" and a bit, he is something like that. I actually see Moani on the left and Simons in the attacking midfielder role. I don't like all these numbers, 6, 8s and 10s. I prefer attacking midfielders or creative midfielders, blah, blah. But yeah, I see him coming like that, which means that Johnson, who is Marmite to a lot of the fan base, who I've actually warmed to. I didn't want him at the club, but I've actually warmed to. I just see his future down the middle. And it doesn't have to be as a number 9, because you can play the more continental style of forward, rather than an out-and-out number 9, centre forward. So we'll see if Richarlison and Solanke can stay injury-free or whatever. Angie's going to have some nice selection problems. I mean, Decky will be back at Christmas. So, especially if you bring in foreign players in the January transfer window, he's got another headache who he leaves out the Champions League squad. He's left 6 out now, but he's been helped by injuries. I mean,
sorry, keeping to the timing because I know Chang and Blain have got to shoot soon, so I want to make sure this was the last banner I had. You guys are discussing a bit of it already, and it was the transfer window's closed, but it's gone unnoticed because of all the shenanigans. Because normally what we do is we work from Sunday to Sunday, so it should have been we would have talked about the transfer window first, then we would have talked about what happened to Levy and then what happens next. But because Levy's news took over the whole of the space of the Tottenham space last week, the transfer window's closed, and I think it's just gone slightly unnoticed and slightly tinged because of what's happened with the Levy news. Now, the question I'm going to ask all you guys, the three of you, is: we play West Ham on Saturday. We know Thomas Frank tinkers, changes the team for tactics and for the opposition. I'm going to ask the question because the only one I really want to ask is: if we're going to play a 4-2-3-1, I want to know, from your opinion, who our 3-1's going to be this weekend.
Well, I think it's Savage. Simons would be in the 10. Kudus would be on the right. Wani would be on the left. And it's just a question of how fit Solanke is. He's starting to get back to fitness. He's getting time on. I'd rather have Solanke in the team than Richarlison, but it might be that Richie starts.
I think for West Ham, you've got to start Richie because of the physicality. I think in the air, he's going to be much more of a threat. And this might sound controversial, but I don't think Moani starts. I think Moani comes off the bench.
Yeah.
He hasn't played a game yet this season, Adrian.
Well, then Johnson will start. I mean, when they won 3-0 at Forest, you have to bear in mind their 3 goals coming in the 86th, 88th, and 9th minute. Don't know what happened to Forest. They must have capitulated. So, and the little I've seen of West Ham, they've looked awful. So, we don't go to their stadium with any fears whatsoever. We should be going there, not stinking the place out like last year just to get a draw because we were more concerned with Europe. We should just be going there to rip them to pieces, basically. And I think we will.
They'll raise their game, though. It's always their cup final.
Yeah, they do raise their game, and we still beat them. I mean, our record, the top 3 teams in the Premier League, if we got the highest win rates and records against, are, I think it's Everton, Man City, and then West Ham. Man City is second. So we just got a good. They beat us at our place about once every 10 seasons, West Ham. So I mean, but we're at their place, and we got a good record there as well. So their fans will be extremely nervous when we go there. I expect us to win.
Bit of a question back to you, Jose.
Adrian, you haven't answered it though, Blain. But Adrian's already given me the 3-1. Who's your 3-1?
Yeah, I did give him a 3-1. So Richarlison starts up top. I think Johnson's going to start on the left, Kudus on the right, and you're going to see Bergvall in the 10. Bit of a change, but sorry, not Bergvall in 10. Bergvall in the 8 and Simmons in the 10. My apologies.
Well, he's played Sarr in the 10 in quite a few games as well.
He has, but you can't not play Simmons. He's head and shoulders above Adrian.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In that position, Sarr's more your box to box midfielder. But
exactly, ball carrier. He's not creative.
As you alluded to, though, he might bring them two both on the second half. Or he might go with them. It'll be all depending. I mean, they've got to come back from international duty. He'll have watched to see how well they played on international duty to see what sort of form they're in. I mean, I didn't watch Holland play or nothing like that. So, and then, they'll be back. I don't suppose they'll be back till Thursday, will they? We got a game on.
Some people, Romero, unless he stays out with the national team, because as a supporter, Romero's suspended from the second of the internationals. The people that played Thursday, Adrian, are playing today. The people that played Friday are playing Monday, and the people that played Saturday are playing Tuesday. So you will get players back on Monday. We'll get players back on Tuesday, and the worst case scenario, we'll get players back not for training, but the South Americans will be coming back late Wednesday. So probably start training on Thursday. So it's like a step. It depends on when you played. Do you know what I mean? But before Chang, who are your 3-1 before I go back to Blain?
This might be a bit of a right turn or even a left turn, depending on how you look at it. But I don't think we might even operate with a 10 in the game against West Ham. I am actually of the opinion that we should just stick with the midfield trio of Bentancur, probably Pepe Matassar, and Palhinha as our 3 midfielders. We keep Kudus on the left if it means giving license to roam. If it means giving Simons the license to run up and down that left wing by himself. So I would actually keep Richarlison up top as our centre forward. Xavi Simons to be deployed on the left. Kudus remains on the right, and then we remain with that midfield trio of Palhinha, Pepe Matassar, and Bentancur. And if things aren't going well for us in the first half, then that's where I'll bring on Bergvall for one of the midfield trio, or even put Simons back into the number 10 role if it means bringing on Johnson in his stead in that left wing. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
So before I go back to Blain, because Blain was just about to ask something before I asked Adrian for the 3-1 as well. Can I just remind people that Tottenham have released videos, or whatever you want to call it, of the training that's been happening whilst the international break's been on. So Thomas Frank and the coaches would have had an absolutely perfect look at Moani, because Moani didn't go away with the French national squad. He's been training at Tottenham Hotspur way all throughout the period since he was signed. So basically, both the international weeks, because the premiership stops for 2 weeks, Moani would have had full training sessions at Tottenham Hotspur way. So just throwing it out there so people are aware. Blain, you were going to ask me something, and then we've got one final question from Philly to finish the show off.
Yeah, no problem. It's about Kudus. Obviously, he's
Yeah.
going back to West Ham. How do you think he's going to play in the hostile atmosphere he's going to receive?
I don't know whether to me, Blaine, I don't know whether there's going to be a hostile atmosphere towards him. I said this the other day. I go on a Tottenham fan channel that Tony's got. He's a good lad, Tony, and I've met him in person. And that. He's a West Ham supporter, and I go on his show. He comes on mine, and look, the fan base are not right. Let me put it this way: if I had to close my eyes, right, and I didn't know who I was listening to, and I was listening to people talk, or I saw comments, and I didn't, and you take away what club they're from, they would have been describing Tottenham Hotspur. The fans are absolutely in arms.
Interesting.
The fans are absolutely in arms with Sullivan, because they said that Sullivan gets involved in all the transfer deals and all the players that come to the club.
Kudus. Sorry, I don't know if
Goes
I cut out there.
in basement hunting, and so they're all against him. And because of all the PSR issues and stuff that West Ham have got, West Ham has Kudos. They're not against Kudos being sold because they knew they had to do that. They're more against the chairman of the club and the fact that he doesn't spend and stuff like that. It doesn't help that Kudos has come to Tottenham, but I think the fan base are more angst against the chairman than what they are against Kudos because they knew Kudos. That's my thought on the matter from listening to the West Ham fans.
What do you think, Adrian? How's Kudus going to be received back at West Ham next week?
With the usual warm chicken run welcome from the West Ham fans. I mean, they're going to be booed every time he touches the ball, isn't he? I mean, I see a case. I can see a case for Moani starting because our left-hand side is we've shown nothing on the left really this season, have we? There's been no out ball on the left. It's all been magnetically attracted to Kudus. Well, now he's got Moani out there. That would take the pressure off. I see Johnson playing down the middle in the future. But Frank's got so many options. I mean, we've got 4 new players in, and the permutations are endless now when everyone's fit. So,
Chan, what do you think? What do you think about Kudos? As Blaine has asked the question, what do you think about Kudos going back to West Ham?
I think he's going to be on the receiving end of a very hostile welcome from the West Ham faithful. I cannot see him being welcomed back with open arms, given how he said that he only wanted Tottenham. And for me, I think them losing him to us will only go a long way to vindicating their own board as to why they are selling to their rivals, London rivals too, for that matter. And but I will say this about Kudus as well. However, the West Ham fans boo and jeer and just give him stick, I think he's going to remain professional. He would. I don't think he's going to egg them on, or rather, he's going to antagonize the home faithful. And that's it. I don't think he's going to pull off an Adebayor against them if he does score anytime soon next Saturday. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see how both Kudus and Thomas Frank handle his return to what's it now, the Millennium Stadium, I think, where they're playing. So, oh no, sorry, it's the Olympic Stadium. So yeah, I think this is one to be on the lookout for. And if he does start on the bench, I think it wouldn't surprise me one bit, especially if Thomas Frank is looking to avoid him getting stick and in turn destabilizing us, because we know what Kudus can be if he is rattled. We saw that from his red card last season. So hopefully that doesn't come to happen again this season against us in their favor. And this will be the one interesting to be looking out for. And I think it's fair to say that his name, Kudus's name, will be one of the very first names I will be on the lookout for the moment that team sheet is announced. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
Right, just to finish off the show, we've got a question, and then we'll wrap it up, guys. And the question's coming from Philly. I'm trying to bring it up on screen, but basically the question says, the question's for Adrian and the panel.
It's cut out of the vital
I
moment.
think it's frozen again
Yeah.
just before it could.
Where's the question? Philly go.
I'm trying to look it up on the chat.
Fabio Paratici or Paul Mitchell now that Levy is gone and Mitchell's unemployed?
Well, listen, if Paratici's been a consultant, whether we take him back full time or not, he can still do a job for us if he's a consultant. In theory, Philly, you could take both. You could take Paul Mitchell back and keep Paratici as a consultant. But I would look. It's been a while since Paul Mitchell was at this club. All right, he was rated, but I would take Paratici back just because what he's done and his knowledge. And to be honest, I know a bit more about him than I do about Paul Mitchell, to be honest with you. So I would take Paratici back.
I'd agree with you on that, Adrian. I think Paratici, in terms of negotiating and spinning up deals, is far better. Let Lang go and do the data analysis work and focus on youth recruitment. And then you've got two very, very clear, distinct roles within the football club. Don't know about Paul Mitchell. I'm not really au fait with his track record on who's recruited in the past, but for me, I would have Paratici as DOF and then Lang in charge of data and youth recruitment.
Chang.
I think for me, Paratici is the one that I would favor over Paul Mitchell. And you only need to look at the impact of Paratici's signings that is made for us, even as far back as Christian Romero under Nuno, and how Romero himself has gone from strength to strength and even now become our club captain with the departure of Son. And for me, if there ever was a better person to bring in now that Levy is gone, I think it's got to be Paratici. I mean, all of last season, even before the Europa League final, there was always a question of would Paratici be able to work with Big Ange? And now that we have our answer, now that we know that Big Ange has gone, I think it only makes sense for us to bring in Paratici. I think the only question is when will he be brought in, if at all? And for me, I think Paratici would be the last. He would be the last piece, the last bit of the puzzle that actually fully unlocks our potential as a footballing powerhouse, not only in Britain but in Europe. Now that we've seen the back of Levy, I think the only question now is what to do. What to do with the people who are sort of like contrasting, not really contrasting, who have the same sort of a role as Paratici, or if they have the same scope of work. I think for me, Paratici is the one that we should prioritize over any other boardroom stuff. And yeah, I think it's only fair that now that Big Ange is gone, we bring in Paratici sooner or later. And I think there's no better time than the present for him to get to work and work on our January winter signings soonish. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
For me, Philly, I would be a bit like, can't we have them both? It's what I'd say. Can't we have them both? Paul Mitchell did well when he had full control or the mid Pochettino days before he had fallen out. Whether that can happen or not, I'm not sure. The Paratici thing, I'm not sure whether that's going to happen anyway, because Paratici was wanted by Levy and was due to come back. But with Levy now going, is that offer still on the table? Is what I question myself. Is the offer still on the table for him to come back now that Levy is gone? I'm not sure, because I don't know how it's been left. I don't know whether the agreement came pre or with the other people that are now running the club. But I thought Levy was coming. I thought Paratici was coming back because Levy wanted him. So it remains to be seen what happens. But the one thing I will say, and I don't agree with you, Blain, and I normally do, is Langer Get him a taxi. If
Oh, I
Paratici comes
disagree
back
with
to
you,
Langer,
Jose.
I don't know.
You've been banging that bringing that false bell for ages. I mean, look, he's director of football. He's responsible for incoming and outgoings. We've got rid of loads of players while he's been there. You've seen 4 players bought in that walk into the side. Romero signed a new contract. Spencer signed a new contract. He brought in Bergvall and VDV. I don't agree with your maths, mate. I don't agree.
But then
with
Adrian, he also brought in Tell and re-signed Werner on a second loan deal.
Yeah, and he's brought in Yang Min Hook, who we don't know nothing about, and he's brought in a
It's Basuma still at our club.
I know. Basuma,
Unfortunately,
Basuma
is
probably
he still there?
his way to Turkey
Yeah,
or
he's still
Saudi Arabia.
He's
simply
still there.
because he's not in a Champions League squad.
What's Langer done? Is it Basuma still there? Okay, no, I'm not going to ask anymore. Right. All I keep saying about Langer, right, is that when Doffs leave their clubs, when you approach the Doff to come to your club, they get put on gardening. He was never ever put on gardening. They just said, yeah, you can have him. You speak to all the Villa fans, and they said that they couldn't wait to get rid of him. He was.
Yeah, but what do they know? They're Villa fans, right? What do they know? I mean, like, look what he's done. It doesn't matter what they say. By your actions, we will judge you. And by his actions, he's brought in some cracking players and he's got rid of loads. I mean, even Højbjerg's his payment for him is at 17 mil, 20 mil for Son, 8.6.
Okay, how much do we get? How much do we get for the players that he's got rid of? Yeah.
Well, we spent.
What about Ndombele? What about Lo Celso? What about? There's a whole long list.
Yeah, but he didn't sign Lo Celso. He didn't sign Ndombele.
That's to sell him. Don't just buy players. You've got to sell players as well as a
yeah, but they got rid of them. They've got rid of loads of players. Dyer went for money. For no money. Under his jurisdiction as well. We're just going to have to agree to disagree on this one, Jose, mate.
Yeah, we'll have to. Right, people, listen, look, we've come to the end of the show because I'm aware that Blain and Chang have got other things to go and do, rightly so. Thank you very much, Blain. Thank you very much, Adrian. And Chang, thank you very much. Well, Blain, if you want, you could come on with us next weekend as well. It's your call. I'm quite happy to have you come and join me and Chang. And Adrian, if you're I was surprised that you're out of bed because normally you like to have a lane. And when I saw that you was awake because you're in my chat, that's when I sent you the link. So well done. Thank you for coming on. But if you're about next Sunday, we'll get you on as well because next Sunday, obviously, will be the next episode and we would have played against West Ham. Sorry,
yeah, looking forward to going to Villarreal at home.
Before we do end the stream, Mr. Strucker, do you have anything to plug for Spurs Diehards later on tonight?
I don't think we're doing a show tonight. Ian hasn't got back to me, and I texted him because Sunday and Tuesday, if there is anything to talk about, we like to be fact-based and we don't want to just come on and waffle, right? So Friday, definitely. With Drew, I'll be hosting Friday because that's a preview West Ham and any news that might break from now until then. So there's just no point. I don't like not doing a show. I like to keep the regular shows going so our audience knows when we're on. But, it's it's a bit flat. It's this international break does it every time for most podcasters.
Yeah. Just to say, you've got Drew who's put a comment in there. Look, you can see it on screen. It says there was an announcement earlier. Paratici will be back on the 1st of September. Now Levy's gone. There's been a U-turn on his return, and Paratici is weighing up his options.
Interesting.
There we go. Right. Anyway, we've come to the end of the show. I've got to thank today's sponsor, who's here with us now, Blain, who gifted out 5 channel memberships. Thank you very much, Blain. It's very, very kind of you. And it would be remiss of me, right, not to say, and good afternoon to Phil Coys as well, who's out in Shropshire in the rain. I hope you're not running. Blain, do you have any final words before we shoot?
My final closing comment is I am the real ITK, Jose. I told you about Muani last Sunday on this stream before any other reporter had a go at it. So I am the ITK.
Yeah, and can I say to Blain has let everybody in the world know that he is an ITK now. So we know if I can get Blain on here often enough, we'll know what's happening in the January transfer window because all eyes will be on Blain.
No pressure.
You're gonna have, yeah, you're gonna have to keep your 100% record up, Blain. In
I am.
the wood.
No, listen, Jose and your chat and the panel, thank you very much. Always a pleasure to join you guys.
No, thank you, Adrian.
Yeah, everyone in the chat, if you haven't subscribed to Jose, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get him up to 1,500. We're trying to do the same on Spurs Diehards. So if you can give us a like and subscribe over at Spurs Diehards, that would be very welcome and much appreciated. Yeah, good show. Good show. We've had a few technical difficulties, but I'm sure it didn't spoil everyone's enjoyment. So with that, back to you, Jose. Who's frozen at this time? We'll never end the show if he's still frozen.
Okay, yeah. Again, thank you everyone for for such a wonderful show. Always, it's a pleasure and honor to be back here over in Hotel Cockerel to do what was supposed to be Jose and Chang, but with the very, very welcome additions of Mr. Blain and Mr. Stroker. I'm not sure how long we can keep this on, but I really do hope we can keep it going for as long as possible. The quartet of us, if and when each and every one of us are available at this time at noon on Sundays, and I'm a bit. I was saving a bit for our Champions League squad, or rather the absence of a few players from our Champions League squad to be discussed. But maybe we can save that for next Sunday before our Villarreal game. I think that will be one to be looked at as well. The squad has been announced for our group stages. And my final closing statements is I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that we do not get any players returning with injuries or niggles. That is the only thing, the one and only thing, or rather the one thing I do not want us to see is to have players returning with injuries or niggles to hamper our European campaign and also the restart of our domestic league campaign. Having said that, thank you again, Senor Garcia, for having me, and come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chang, Blain, Adrian. Thank you very much for the show. And thank you very much for those that have watched. Yes, we've had technical difficulties, and I'm really sorry about that. It's probably my end more than anybody else's. We'll try and get this rectified before we're next back on. And if you haven't hit the like button already, please hit it on your way out. It's much appreciated. And again, I'm the same as the other guys. And I finish off always with, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Tell, Cockerel. He's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell, Cockerel. Leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The predictions league done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around. Always talking Spurs, wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. The Predictions League done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell Cockerel. Goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? El Tel, Cockerel. The show is so chill. Your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at.